The afternoon sky above the Persian Gulf is about to transform into a battlefield. Across 6 locations in Iranian territory, launch rails tilt skyward. Khorramabad, Kermanshah, Dezful, Tabriz, Qom, Semnan. What happens next will become a defining moment in modern military history, not because of its outcome, but because of what it reveals about the devastating speed and scale of 21st century conflict. 96 missiles erupt simultaneously from their launchers. 12 Shahab-3 ballistic missiles from Khorramabad climb on pillars of flame. 16 more Shahab-3s follow from Kermanshah. Dezful contributes 12 low-flying Sumar cruise missiles designed to evade radar. Tabriz launches 8 massive Khorramshahr ballistic missiles. Qom adds 16 Imad precision weapons. Semnan deploys 12 advanced Khaybar Shekan missiles. This is no limited strike. This is everything Iran has prepared for. A saturation attack designed to overwhelm American defenses through sheer volume and tactical diversity. The target, Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, the beating heart of U.S. Central Command operations. 11,000 American personnel, squadrons of F-15 Strike Eagles, F-35 stealth fighters, B-52 Stratofortress bombers. This isn't just a military installation, it's the nerve center coordinating American power projection across the entire Middle East. 4 seconds. That's how long it takes for U.S. Space Force satellites to detect the thermal signatures. Infrared sensors positioned 22,000 miles above Earth register the heat blooms, calculate trajectories, and transmit encrypted warnings. Before Iranian launch crews finish their post-launch checks, American defensive networks are already processing threat data and activating countermeasures. Al Udeid sirens shatter the afternoon quiet. Incoming ballistic missiles, all personnel to hardened shelters. This is not a drill. 11,000 people have minutes to reach safety. Aircraft worth hundreds of millions are pushed into reinforced hangars. Underground bunkers seal shut. But defensive weapon crews are running toward their systems, not away from danger. The defensive architecture surrounding Al Udeid represents decades of technological development and billions in investment. 4 Patriot missile batteries ring the perimeter. 2 THAAD systems provide high-altitude interception capability. 6 CRAM point defense weapons stand ready to create walls of anti-aircraft fire. This is the most heavily defended position in the theater of operations. Iranian planners knew this. They simply bet that 96 missiles would be enough to overwhelm it. The first Patriot interceptor launches with a thunderous roar, its solid rocket motor accelerating the weapon past Mach 5. 3 seconds later, another follows, then 2 more. Within 90 seconds, the sky fills with interceptor trails racing upward to meet the descending Iranian barrage. The engagement unfolds with mechanical precision. Radar systems track. Fire control computers calculate intercept solutions. Launch commands execute automatically. At 31 kilometers altitude, the first interception occurs. An Iranian Shahab-3, traveling at Mach 7 during terminal descent, simply disintegrates as a Patriot interceptor finds its target. The radar signature vanishes instantly. No dramatic explosion, just efficient negation of threat. But 96 missiles create immense tracking challenges. For critical seconds, the defensive systems are stressed to their operational limits. Iranian planners designed this saturation attack specifically to exploit these momentary gaps. 3 missiles, 2 Shahab-3s and 1 Imad, slip through the Patriot engagement envelope. The THAAD systems engage next. Their kinetic kill vehicles don't carry explosive warheads. They destroy through pure collision, hitting incoming missiles with such velocity that both objects fragment from impact energy alone. 2 more Iranian missiles break apart at 40 kilometers altitude. 1 missile remains. The C-RAM systems activate. These Gatling-style weapons fire 4,500 rounds of 20mm ammunition, creating defensive barriers of exploding projectiles. The distinctive burping roar echoes across the base as 2 Iranian cruise missiles attempting low-altitude approach are shredded by walls of steel. 1 Iranian Shahab-3, having evaded every defensive layer, impacts the eastern perimeter. The explosion is significant. Equipment destroyed, structures damaged. 17 American personnel sustain injuries from debris and overpressure. But no aircraft were destroyed, no runways were cratered, no strategic damage achieved.
Iran launched 96 missiles. 91 were intercepted. 5 penetrated defenses. Casualties: 17 wounded, 0 killed. From a military perspective, the attack has failed catastrophically. But this defensive success is merely the opening act. Even before the last Iranian missile impacts, authorization for response operations reaches U.S. commanders. The retaliation unfolds with speed that Iranian planners fatally underestimated. 4 Arleigh Burke-class destroyers positioned throughout the Persian Gulf and Arabian Sea, USS Porter, USS Carney, USS Roosevelt, USS Bulkley, simultaneously ripple-fire Tomahawk cruise missiles from their vertical launch systems. 64 Tomahawks total, each programmed with specific coordinates, each following terrain-hugging flight profiles designed to minimize detection. From the deck of USS Theodore Roosevelt, 12 FA-18E Super Hornets launch in rapid succession. Their twin engines push them supersonic within seconds. Mission parameters are clear. Destroy the Iranian launch facilities at Khorramabad and Kermanshah. Each aircraft carries precision-guided munitions capable of striking targets with accuracy measured in meters. 4 B-1B Lancer bombers, already on patrol over international waters, receive targeting data and vector toward launch points. These swing-wing supersonic bombers don't need to penetrate Iranian airspace. Their weapons have standoff range exceeding 500 miles. Each Lancer carries 24 AGM-158 JASSM-ER stealth cruise missiles. 96 missiles total from 4 aircraft. 2 B-52 Stratofortresses, flying from Diego Garcia, approach their release points carrying maximum ordnance loads. Their targets: logistics infrastructure and petroleum refineries supporting Iran's missile program. The ancient but formidable bombers house hundreds of GPS-guided bombs in internal bays and external racks. Electronic warfare aircraft, EA-18G Growlers, cross into Iranian airspace first. Their powerful jamming pods flood Iranian radar frequencies with overwhelming interference. Defense networks that functioned moments earlier suddenly display nothing but static chaos. High-speed anti-radiation missiles follow immediately, homing in on every radar installation attempting to track the incoming strike packages. Within 120 seconds, Iran's early warning network across a 200-kilometer radius falls silent. The precision strikes commence with devastating coordination. At Khorramabad, the facility that proudly launched Iran's opening salvo 15 minutes earlier, 18 JASSM-ER cruise missiles converge simultaneously. The weapons utilize terrain-following flight profiles and radar-absorbing materials, rendering them effectively invisible until impact. Mobile launcher vehicles vaporize, command bunkers collapse, fuel storage tanks erupt in massive fireballs. Secondary explosions ripple through the complex as stored propellant ignites. Kermanshah experiences systematic dismantlement. 24 Tomahawk cruise missiles, each carrying 1,000-pound warheads, strike the facility's underground structures. These aren't conventional explosives, they're bunker-penetrating weapons designed specifically to defeat reinforced concrete barriers. The missiles punch through multiple meters of overhead protection before detonating, collapsing entire underground storage facilities. The command center, buried beneath layers of concrete and earth, is destroyed by successive strikes that first breach the protective layers, then detonate inside. Dezful and Tabriz facilities face coordinated assault from carrier-based aviation. 48 FA-18 Super Hornets deliver precision-guided munitions in carefully sequenced attacks. Runways are cratered at precise intervals, rendering them unusable. Hangars collapse under direct hits, communication towers topple, fuel depots explode into towering columns of black smoke. But the American response extends far beyond immediate retaliation against launch sites. 12 F-35A Lightning II stealth fighters penetrate deep into Iranian airspace, approaching the industrial facilities at Isfahan and Parchin. These aren't military bases, they're the production centers where Iran's missile program originates. The F-35s carry 96 GBU-53B Stormbreaker precision munitions, small-diameter bombs with tri-mode seekers capable of engaging targets using radar, infrared, or laser guidance. The Isfahan missile production facility represents decades of Iranian industrial investment. Assembly buildings where missile components are manufactured, testing facilities where guidance systems are calibrated, storage warehouses containing critical parts, technical expertise developed over years. All of it becomes targets for systematic destruction. The Stormbreakers strike with clinical precision, collapsing factory buildings, destroying specialized equipment that cannot be easily replaced.
Parchin receives identical treatment. Every significant structure within the complex absorbs multiple direct hits. Assembly lines are demolished. Testing chambers collapse. The facility that took years to construct ceases to exist as functional infrastructure within 8 minutes of the first strike. The final wave targets logistics and support infrastructure. 2 B-52 Stratofortresses, each carrying maximum bomb loads, approach 12 secondary airfields and 8 petroleum refineries identified as supporting the missile program. The resulting bombardment delivers 288 GPS-guided munitions. Fuel storage tanks erupt in explosions that register on seismographic stations as magnitude 4.0 events. Airfields are rendered completely inoperable, runways destroyed, fuel supplies exhausted, support facilities reduced to rubble. 44 minutes after Iran's initial launch, the engagement concludes. The statistical disparity tells the story. Iran fired 96 missiles that killed 0 Americans and caused minimal strategic damage. The United States responded with 944 precision-guided weapons that destroyed 8 primary missile launch bases, 30 military support facilities, 2 major production centers, 12 logistics airfields, and 8 refineries. Iranian military casualties, hundreds killed, thousands wounded. American casualties, 17 wounded, 0 killed. But these numbers, however dramatic, reveal only immediate tactical outcomes. The deeper implications extend far beyond destroyed facilities and casualty counts. Iran's missile program, developed over decades at costs reaching billions of dollars, has been comprehensively dismantled. The production infrastructure cannot be quickly rebuilt. The technical expertise represented by killed and wounded personnel cannot be easily replaced. The strategic deterrent Iran relied upon to project regional power has been negated.
Yet this decisive victory solves none of the fundamental tensions that created the conflict. The underlying issues, sanctions strangling Iran's economy, regional rivalries with Saudi Arabia and Israel, American military presence, nuclear program disputes, remain unresolved. Hundreds of Iranian families mourn lost relatives. Regional instability has intensified. Oil markets face supply shocks. The risk of further escalation looms. The technology demonstrated in this engagement is real. Satellite surveillance detecting launches within seconds. Layered missile defenses intercepting threats with high success rates. Precision weapons destroying hardened targets from standoff ranges. These capabilities exist and function as described, but possessing overwhelming military power doesn't make its employment wise or necessary. Modern conflicts demonstrate catastrophic efficiency in destruction, while offering little capacity for resolving the political disputes that fuel them. 44 minutes erased decades of Iranian military development. Yet the grievances, fears, and strategic calculations on both sides persist unchanged, now amplified by loss and humiliation. This cycle, military action producing tactical success but strategic ambiguity, has characterized Middle Eastern conflicts for generations. The real lesson isn't about military superiority, but about the limitations of force as a policy tool. Diplomatic engagement, however frustrating and slow, offers pathways to address root causes rather than suppress symptoms. International frameworks provide mechanisms for managing disputes before they escalate to violence. Economic integration creates mutual interests in stability. None of these approaches offers the decisive clarity of military victory, but they provide what force cannot: sustainable solutions to political problems. This scenario, while fictional, reflects genuine capabilities and plausible escalation pathways. The choice isn't whether such conflicts are possible. The technology ensures they are. The choice is whether we pursue the difficult work of prevention through diplomacy, or whether we accept the catastrophic efficiency of modern warfare as the arbiter of international disputes. 44 minutes can destroy what decades built. Preventing those 44 minutes requires sustained commitment to alternatives that seem slower and less certain, but offer the only path to genuine security.